If you are familiar, yes, Antonio Brown, once a wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, was cut by the team a little bit over a week ago around the time I'm making this video. And in a 24-hour span of being cut from the team, he made an appearance on Full Send podcast where he had discussions with the podcast members in regards to the recent activities and actions of him. And in the process of explaining his actions and letting everybody know his perspective and what he's thinking, he does touch on his relationship with Tom Brady, which seems to be a little bit of a foggy one, to say the least. He does open up and mention that the relationship is close, but as he continues talking about it, it brings some questions as to how he may really feel about the relationship. AB describes his relationship with Tom Brady as one that was founded through him being a good player and surrounded by business. In fact, you may hear AB mention the idea that in the business that he's in, being the NFL, that there aren't friends, but it's strictly a business motive. He goes on to add and really discuss how he being put on a prove it deal, as he'll label it, felt a little odd to him considering Tom was pushing for other teammates such as Rob Gronkowski to get his money. And you can tell that it kind of rubs Antonio Brown the wrong way as he expresses himself in this podcast. So seeing the perspective that AB brings up about friendships, about his friendship with Tom Brady and how it really carried a business aspect and not necessarily a have your back kind of aspect, according to AB, Tom Brady does share a perspective prior to this podcast of his thoughts on AB and the situation that took place. Tom mentioning things such as a need for a support system. He cares for AB. He's grown pretty close to him. And Tom mentioning that he has a lot of compassion. Now, it's kind of interesting because as you've heard from a little bit of both perspectives in this video, it does seem like there's two different sides to a friendship here, AB and his perspective, Tom and his. But if there's anything to pick up and learn about what has transpired and what has been shared, is that friendship, according to Antonio Brown, isn't necessarily what should be the foundation in any friendship that we should create. So speaking from the Christian worldview perspective, yes, friendships are necessary. Friendships are something that we need. But also understand that a true friend is there for you at all times and a brother is born for adversity. And so nowhere in that description of a friend is there supposed to be a business aspect or friendships just being for business relations only. The truth is that a real friendship to any capacity isn't about me being with you or befriending you because of what you have, but rather I'm befriending you and loving you because of who you are. I'm not in a relationship or any kind of friendship because of the material things you can give me or because of the finances you can give me or even because of the position of authority you have to kind of put me in a better position. A lot of those perspectives carry the mindset of a selfish love and not a selfless love, which actually leads me to understand that a true friendship is actually moving in the matter of selfless love, because by doing so, both of us as individuals in the friendship are actually looked out for a lot better than putting ourselves first or in the center of the relationship. No one who's in the center of any friendship is able to allow anybody else into their lives or make room for any other relationship. Since everything has to be about you and what's in it for you, you don't ever make the conscientious effort to pour into the other person and to really be about a friend to them. So in other words, by putting myself first and putting everyone else in any other relationship last, I'm not able to give to you what you need and actually fulfill my duty as a friend, which is to love you, care for you, and build with you over time. So any friendship that is built is not determined by creating a perspective or mindset of what's in it for me, but rather we should move in the direction of saying to ourselves what's in it for them, which also leads to a personal character development and transformation of the heart, to which we're able to truly understand the value of friendship and other people. If my individual character as a human being is more centered around selfishness and arrogance and pride and not really caring about others, then I'll never really understand the value of a friendship or even be able to maintain one, because no relationship you create, once again, can nourish and grow in a selfish manner of any kind. AB does make one good comment as he ends the podcast. Yes, he says a plethora of things that I may not necessarily agree with personally or from this perspective. But he does share the understanding that we ought to be able to give people their flowers and love them and appreciate them while they're here. And I think that's a good thing that AB mentions in this entire podcast, the whole hour and 27 minutes, because he's absolutely right. We should make the gesture to appreciate and love people and give them their flowers as they're here. Being in a relationship or friendship of any kind, we ought to be able to put ourselves in position to show constant or continual appreciation for them, because we want them to know that what they're doing is good or appreciated or celebrated for accomplishments, big steps, or whatever it is that they're doing that's pushing them in the right direction. So in the end, I think giving people their flowers in due time and in the right time and showing them love and appreciation without feeling embarrassed or feeling that we're all over people or we're riding coattails is something that should be moved in with any relationship that you carry, especially friendships. So out of all the things that AB mentions in this entire podcast, this one thing I can get with, and I do want to encourage you as you build friendships, be sure to show your support, show your appreciation, and let them know that you love them while you have the chance. In the end, no friendship can be created or sustained moving in the motive of thinking of what's in it for me, because that gives way to pride, selfishness, arrogance, greed, all of those things to be at the helm of an individual's life, and actually excludes any opportunity for any potential relationship to actually cultivate and grow and progress in purpose. There's going to be arguments, there's going to be disagreements, there may be some times where the friendship is at a low and at an all-time high. In the end, if we're moving with the motive of selfless love and not selfish love, we won't have to run into certain obstacles and stumbling blocks, such as the one that Antonio Brown is currently facing with his questionable relationship with his former quarterback in Tom Brady. A true friend loves you at your worst and at your best, whether in the public eye or in private rooms. And remember, the greatest form of selfless love is none other than when Jesus himself came to die for the sins of the world, the sins of humanity, but resurrected 3 days later so that a friendship and relationship can be reconciled between man and God. So every time we look to model a form of selfless love that's necessary for a friendship to maintain, let's remember what Jesus did for mankind so that we may purpose to do the same for others in our friendships. When we are putting other friends before ourselves, making it a form of selfless love where everyone's needs can be met in a friendship can actually be built with great purpose. And no, I don't think that AB really gave an impression that that is something that he gave in the friendship or relationship that he questioned with his former quarterback in Tom Brady. Keep this in mind. As a real friend, I'm not here for what you can do for me or what you can give me or what kind of authority you have to put me in better positions. I'm in this friendship because of who you are and because I value you, not just as an individual, but as a friend through selfless love. Hey, listen, if you want to catch up on a conversation that we had talking about friendships and boundaries, be sure to click the link in the description below, because that's something that's necessary for friendships too. Hey, and if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe if you're new, turn on the notification bell so you'll know the next time we're posting, like and share this video. Hey, and your boy's got a new podcast, all right? At this current time, I'm posting every Tuesdays and Thursdays at midnight. So check the link in the description to check out the content. And as always, until our next conversation, be easy and be breezy. Peace.